Hi, everybody. Welcome to Soft Friday Night Comics. I'm Michael, guest hosting for Tom. I also go by Fake Tom when I do this. Uh, Next slide. Next. Hello. There we go. SAW is a 501c nonprofit with online courses. You can find more at learn.sawcomics.org. Coming soon, we have a whole bunch of summer courses, plus the SAW Online Comic Certificate Program. The year-long program is enrolling now. And next Friday, we have, my thing is in front of this, it's Wild Wildlife with Kay Woodman Maynard on July 12th. Catherine's great. She's given pro calls at SAW and done some Friday Night Comics with us before. Don't miss that. Yeah, enrolling for 2024, 2025, the year-long program. I took that a couple years ago. Great way to up your skills wherever you are in your comics journey. We also have From Story to Pitching with Rob Clow, 4 weekly single Zoom sessions. An inside scoop on what editors are looking for. Check that out on our learning site. And Tom, yes, if you are local to our brick and mortar SAW in Gainesville, Tom is hosting his annual. Oh no, this is something else. I'm all confused. Oh, this is his is Tom's glimpse into the year-long project. But yeah, and then where's that other thing? He's also, I guess I don't have the image for it. He's doing his comics, Visionary Comics in Gainesville in late July. But you can find out about that and everything else happening at SAW at learn.sawcomics.org. And don't forget to check out Seesaw Comics, where people from the SAW community, including attendees of the Friday Night Comics Workshop, post their work. Yeah, this little thing over here, The Pursuit of Unhappiness, that's me. Check it out. Leave a comment because I'm so hungry for validation from complete strangers. And yeah, you can share the work that you do tonight and every time you come to Friday Night Comics in a PDF that we post on Seesaw. We survive from tuitions and donations from people like you. Thank you. If you were able to donate to tonight's workshop, that helps us pay the guest artists. You can also support us at our PayPal account and Patreon, or consider becoming a sustaining member. We do a lot of good. We offer scholarships and tuition discounts, um, making SAWS classes available and accessible to a very wide population. Don't forget what you do here. Share it tonight on social media with the hashtags Friday Night Comics and @Comics Workshop. Join us for free anytime at the SAW sharing site. Can't seem to, I'm speaking English like a second language again. Members.sawcomics.org, that's the mighty network SAW site. Please, no inappropriate speech or imagery, no trolling or hate speech or explicit language. Please keep it PG-13 and enjoy. Tonight, Sarah Firth, Riffing Off Reality. And that's the end of my thing. So I'm going to hit stop sharing if I can find that and hand it over to Sarah. Oh, I know what happened. I moved this thing. Okay, and now I can hit stop share. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, thank you very much for that, Michael. It's great. And thank you everybody for coming. It's wonderful to see you here. So where to start? I thought it would be good to ask you all to start warming up. I'm going to give a little introduction about who I am and what I do. So now is a great time to, yeah, put pen to paper, do some doodles. I've been doing some here. I don't know if people can see this like camera onto my desk. But yeah, I'm just doing some little doodles and some spirals. And I just, yeah, suggest that you start warming up and moving your hand. You can really do whatever. For those who are familiar with Linda Barry, I love her spiral warm-ups like this. But yeah, just keep drawing while I talk, and I'll do a spiel now. Michael, you can unpin the. Oh, look, it's the top of my head. That's what the top of my head looks like. There we go. Oh, actually, no, keep this one because I will show my book. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so my name is Sarah Firth, and I would like to acknowledge that I am dialing in here from Wurundjeri country in Melbourne, Australia, and we're currently in, I think it's called Warung season, which is the cold, damp, wintry season, and I think we've had like almost perpetual fog here for like 3 days. So we're in our weird winter. And even though Australia doesn't get as cold as places in the US, our houses are famously poorly insulated. So I am wearing 2 pairs of thermals, Ugg boots, and a puffer jacket in my house. Hooray. Um, so how I came to be here today is that I met Tom at a comic art workshop in Australia back in 2015, where I was workshopping the very beginnings of this book. Eventually, everything connects. So this book is my debut graphic novel, and it took me 8 years. It was so fast. In my opinion, a graphic novel that takes under 10 years is like great, because in my opinion, graphic novels are a bit of an extreme sport because you write them and you draw them, and it's just a lot of work. Anyway, so yes, this book came out in Australia last year, and then it's come out just now in June in the US and the UK. Oh yeah, just like Martha says, it's just like doing a PhD, same time frame. Yes, I would agree. So this book is out in the US now, and I'll be coming to the US in September to do a little book tour, most likely along the East Coast. So hopefully I might be able to meet some of you in person. But this book is basically 8 essays on uncertainty, and this book was very much about trying to deal with the feeling that a lot of us have of WTF is going on. Life is hard and complex, and the world is very wobbly. And this is just my very personal and idiosyncratic attempt at making some sense of the entanglements of living. And the exercise that I'll do a quick flip through the book, little preview. So I work mainly digitally. Most of my work is autobiographical science communication philosophy, but also just a lot of kind of humor and comedy in there. The exercise, how do I say this? The concept of today's exercise, riffing off reality, is something that I like to do and have done in the book, which is taking mundane stuff of life and then thinking about, is it really so mundane? So in the book, I have this example of scooping my cat's poop out of the kitty litter, and then thinking about what that might be like in different timelines, like 200 years in the past and 200 years in the future. Here's a grand picture of scooping the poops. And so I wanted to explore this as a drawing exercise with you today, because I think it's a really great way of kind of, I find like playing with big ideas through small things is a really valuable, I guess, philosophical exercise to make you think about everyday life and what we take for granted and how times and lives change and don't change, that kind of thing. So that's the kind of framing for the exercise today. So what I would like to do is invite everyone to start to warm up for the drawing exercise. So what I'd like you to do is come up with a list of 20 mundane things that you do regularly. I don't want to prompt people too much because I want you to come up with interesting ideas. But, it could be stuff like getting a haircut, boiling an egg, walking your dog, sleeping. The more boring and the more monotonous, the better. Going to work, getting the train, eating a biscuit, going to the toilet, whatever. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to just ideate. So to repeat, that's a list of 20 ideas of a mundane thing that you do. And we're going to choose one of those that each of us comes up with to be the basis of drawing our comic. So I'll give you a few minutes now. And if anyone has any questions, please just jump in the chat or whatever. Oh, staring vacantly out the window. Thank you, Nikki. That's a great mundane activity, which we should all do more of, frankly. It's good for the brain.
And we'll give people like a few minutes for this, Sarah, or more.
Yeah, so just I'll check in a couple of minutes just to make sure that everyone's got some kind of list going. And feel free to just use words in your list, or also you could do some little drawings if things come to mind.
By the way, I put the link to your book in chat.
Oh, great. Thank you, Michael. Do you prefer Michael or fake Tom?
Either one, whichever
Okay.
makes you laugh more.
Speaking of mundane things, while people are ideating, I'm going to eat a bland biscuit and I'll turn off my audio.
I'll just leave the overhead view so we can all pretend we're eating the biscuit with you.
I was saying to Michael before that my keyboard is broken because my keys keep getting stuck. And I think from looking at this overhead video, I think part of the reason is because I often eat at my desk and there are crumbs everywhere. And I think that's what falls into my keyboard. Oh. Thank you, Jamie, for the shout out about Vita Wheats. These are a delicious Australian biscuit that are bland and fabulous. So I love that Jamie gets it. Thank you, Jamie.
Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, it's like living inside an oven. It's so humid and hot.
How hot is it?
It was in the 90s today, but it's not the heat, it's the humidity. It reduces you to a walking pile of ash.
Oh gosh. All right, so I think that's a few minutes. I'd love people to verbally share if anyone's interested, some of the mundane ideas that they've come up with, either in the chat or verbally. How do you like to facilitate that, Michael?
Better in the chat because people are muted at this stage, just to
Okay,
avoid Zoom bombers that we've had in the past.
good idea. Yes, please put it in the chat. Water lawn, fold clothes. Nice, very nice. Watching clothes dry. Letterbox, nice. Beautiful.
Deciding not to go out.
I love that.
While you're chewing, I'll read trim those danged ever sprouting longer eyebrow hairs.
That's beautiful.
Emptying the compost juice from my apartment compost system.
Mm. Oh, I just thought of one which is declogging the like hair dreadlock from the pipes in the bathroom.
Lots of laundry.
Yes. Sorry, Nikki. Biting nails, Wordle, coffee. Oh, yes. Skin picking, yes.
Skin picking, my favorite.
So these are great ideas. Um, so what I would like people to do now is to choose one. Choose one of those ideas that you came up with. And we're going to use that as the basis for making your comic today.
So
And
Sarah, Alan has a question that other people
oh,
might be thinking of, which is, what if they're too ordinary, like the mundane? Should you be looking for something less ordinary within the mundane?
I would say go more boring. Make it more boring. The boringer, the better. Look, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because in my opinion, what makes this exercise interesting is that you can take something really boring, really mundane, and then when you shift the timeline, it becomes not boring anymore. So, Alan, it really doesn't matter. Just if there's one that's particularly interesting to you to draw or that you're just vibing with today, there's no right or wrong thing to choose. I hope that answers the question. Um, so, the exercise that I'd like you to start thinking about is choose one of these mundane activities that you came up with, and then think about what would this mundane activity be like if you were doing it 200 years in the past? Where would you be? What would it feel like? Who else would be there? What would be different? What would be the same? And then think about doing that same mundane activity 200 years in the future. What would be the same? Where would you be? What would it smell like? What would it feel like? What would you see? And so what we have here is this idea of three different timelines: the mundane activity now, the mundane activity 200 years in the past, and the mundane activity 200 years in the future. And so we want to use those three different timelines, as the basis for coming up with a comic. And so I don't want to prompt you too much because I'm really interested to see how people interpret and work with this. But if people want a little bit more structure, I guess you could either do like 6 panels or 3 panels. This is very messy anyway, where you could be doing your thing now and then somehow explore. Sorry, that's meant to be me with a biscuit. That's the biscuit. Somehow explore eating that biscuit in the past and in the future, and then maybe coming back to now or not. Um, I'm so I want to over explain this, but I'm not going to. Is that clear as a prompt and an exercise? Does anyone have any questions about it?
I think it's clear. The three timelines are, it's Leanne is asking how many panels. It's 3 or 6.
As many panels as you want, and like this could be a comic with words or a comic that's just 3 visuals of the same thing but different. Really, up to you. So I'm going to give everyone 20 minutes to be working on this. Does that sound right time-wise, Michael?
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
I think though, no, that sounds good. I think we should give a midpoint warning
Okay,
just
yeah.
so that people can gauge. And I'm
Yeah.
glad to set my timer and be that warning, voice of warning.
Yep. Yep. So 20 minutes to work on this. We'll give you a warning at 10 minutes in. If you have any questions or clarifications that you want, please put them in the chat. And happy creating.
And I put into chat just like a synopsis of what you said for people.
Beautiful. Thank you. Just going to respond to Nikki's question. Is it okay if I don't add color again today? Yeah, look, really do whatever you like. Colors, no colors. Like I was suggesting doing panels. and then I started working and the panels have gone out the window. Sometimes I don't feel like doing panels. So again, no wrong or right. If you've done roughs and you're finished already, maybe you feel like drawing some more, redoing it in a more finalized way. Again, don't have to. And or if you've finished already, you could try doing another mundane activity and see what that one is like as well.
And we're just a little past the first quarter.
I also just wanted to add that you can do this in a kind of dry and literal sort of translation of imagining the past and the future around this activity. Um, or you can just get a bit unhinged. So, for example, right now I'm getting a bit unhinged. I don't actually know what I'm writing. It's turning into a romance story with a bit, I'm not quite sure where it will go. But there's no right way to do this, is all I'm saying.
So is it fair to say, don't be afraid to exaggerate and have go over the top with it?
Exactly. And that's the vibe of this session is it's riffing off reality. So if you want to do a wacky guitar solo, um, like go for it. Yeah.
And that's 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes more.
Audrey, I'm just responding to your comment. This pen I'm using is a Pentel brush pen. Um, that's all I know. I'm not sure exactly what model it's called, but it is here we go. Pentel FP10, Japanese made pen. It's a permanent ink, thick brush pen with refills. I love it because you can draw with it. It's very thick and lush and juicy. And because it's permanent, you can then watercolor over the top, which is fantastic. So yeah, this is a definite love this pen. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Is it Lila? Thank you. Yeah, Pentel brush FP10. You can buy them online. They're not very expensive. Super great pen. So I think we've got about 4 minutes left.
We have 1 minute and 26 seconds left.
Whoa, I need to get some color in here.
But we can give people the extra time. I like just let's just give everybody 5 more minutes.
Okay, 5 more minutes, everybody. And then we'll start sharing what everyone has made.
Don't spill that tea, Sarah.
Oh, I'll try. I'll also just mention, in case anyone is interested, when I'm working on paper with watercolors, I use these beautiful watercolors, which are a Kuretake. Let me just read the name on the back and not spill them everywhere. They are, yes, Kuretake. Again, bought online. They have a great like color swatch thing in the lid, and also all of these little watercolor trays are removable. So when you run out, you can replace them, which I really like. But the only issue is that if you drop it, they fall everywhere.
Yeah, you should see my art box. Glad you gave us extra time because I'm still in 200 years ago.
Uh-oh. Oh, we have a question from Nikki. Shall I put my hand up, Michael? I'll go back to bed after sharing. Do you mean, Nikki, that you'd like to share first so that you can go back to bed? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. All good. Well, let's do that.
Don't worry, Nikki. I'll call on you first. We've got 30 seconds left.
Time goes so fast. Okay, 30 seconds. Yikes.
I know.
Also, if you haven't finished, it doesn't matter as well.
Yeah, and you can share what you have now and then keep
Yes.
working on it later and share it to social media.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's time.
Yay. Woo-woo.
So if you'd like to start sharing, you can keep working if you want. I see Nikki and Eli. Nikki, would you like to share first by any chance? By some? Oh, I've got to ask you to unmute.
Thanks, Michael, because then I can go back to bed. I've really enjoyed this. And it stopped raining, so I've come outside, which is good because my goal is to come outside at least once a day. So that's good. I did the sitting looking mundanely out the window thing, and I'll just show you the view from my studio if I can back screen as that, which is
Wow.
pretty cool. So that's an old power site, so I often spend time staring out the window at the old power site. So there's the current staring out the window, and I've put current view as I stare aimlessly out the window. I often think the old power site looks like a landing pad for alien spacecraft, which kind of does. And then 200 years ago in the past, there were no houses here, no windows, and possibly the power site was an exploding volcano, as many of the rocks, here we have a prop, yes, many of the rocks that I'm picking up off the beach below there are volcanic.
Wow, look at that.
And like melted rocks.
Mm.
And then you just get your ordinary magnetite beach pebbles. So yes, the scoria is really cool. And it's definitely a rock, but it's light because it's full of air bubbles from the magma, from the lava, whatever. I'm too tired to think straight. And then here's in the future, I kind of went with the spaceship landing pad theme. And it says 200 years into the future, I'll be nothing more than a pile of bones. Dum, 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 dum.
That's beautiful. Excuse me. That's beautiful, Nikki. I love that. And thank you so much for picking up those rocks to show us. That was great.
Yeah,
Love
thank
it.
you. Though. So I'm holding my door shut, so it just banged. So hopefully I can get back in. Thanks for letting me share. I need to obey the doctor and go back to bed.
Yeah,
So,
well, thank you. That's beautiful. And yeah, have a good rest.
Cool.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Nikki.
everyone.
See you soon. Next up is Eli.
Hi, this is really good. So my Gandalf eyebrows must be contained. And then I overambitious trying to do a reflection of myself in the mirror and spent most of the 20 minutes trying to do that. In the present day, 200 years ago, I was no doubt some sort of royalty, and giant eyebrows were a signifier of power and dignity and benevolence. So there was no need to trim the eyebrows. And then 200 years from now, we're all just hairless floating orbs jetting through the universe with no wind drag. And there's also no need for a trim in the future. And that's the universal symbol for universe, is a ringed planet. So we know that's where we are. Thanks. This was really fun.
That's so good. That's so good. I love it so much. And that speaks to me because my husband has some very crazy eyebrows. And it's my job to get in there with the scissors and trim them. And so I feel the wild eyebrow vibe. And that was very, very funny. Thank you.
You reach a certain age and it's just like all this goes away and then it all just starts coming out here. So anyway, thanks. This was great.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Eli. We have Alan, then Walter, then Jesse.
Okay, so as I usually do, I actually did mine on my computer. Is there a way I can share the screen or?
Maybe. Yeah, you can share.
All right. So where's the, oh, there we go. I was going to do something related to my annoying computer, monitor that's actually to me, but I couldn't think of how that would apply 200 years in the past. So I decided to do something maybe a little more mundane and just went with taking a shower. So since that's something that I could, turning on a computer monitor, not something that really lent itself to going in the past. So taking a shower, one of the simple routines we go through every day. But what would it have been like 200 years in the past? I kind of wish I had a waterfall near my hovel I could bathe in, but I guess this moderately filthy stream is better than nothing. Okay, fine. What about 200 years in the future? All impurities have been removed. Thank you, creepy AI that keeps ignoring my request not to constantly narrate everything. I can remove the impurities from you and your clothing at the same time. You don't have to be naked. Let me have this. Okay, so there was my comment, I guess. So.
That's lovely. I love it so much. It's really funny. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alan.
It's
Walter,
so good.
can you come on camera. There you are.
There we go. I just want to tell Eli, you got to lean into your eyebrows, man, like Peter Capaldi. It's just the way it is. So I did gassing my car. So 200 years ago, it would have been feeding a horse. And I thought that was Pride and Prejudice time, so I gave myself a Mr. Darcy shirt. And I have a smart car now, so gassing it up, checking the phone. And in the future, it'll be like George Jetson.
I like your future hat.
Yeah, I guess he needed an antenna hat. Right? Anyway, this was a lot of fun. I really like the exercise. It's good. Thanks.
Thanks, Walter.
Thanks, Walter. Jesse, can you come on camera? There you are.
Yep, sure. Let me see if people can. I did this on my iPad. I don't know if people can see it. There we go. Might be reversed out. So it's boiling water for my coffee. So now the water, the past 200 years ago won't boil, but I'm using campfire instead. And then itself 200 years in the future, I'm being boiled for coffee. And then the very last panel is this coffee won't drink itself.
That's lovely.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
We have Nancy and then Kate.
So here I am now counting out all these supplements that I have to take every day. So, and then I take them kind of throughout the day. Here's Exhibit A. There's some of them right there. And then 100 years ago, 200 years ago, I'm out in the forest gathering herbs. And then somebody says, there she is practicing black magic. And then I get burned at the stake. And they say, burn her, burn her. And then 200 years in the future, I'm Zooming with Alexa or somebody like that, some AI things. And the AI says, we have just administered all of the supplements and medications. See you in 100 years. And she goes, thanks, Alexa.
That's so good. I love the very dramatic past witch burning, which
Yes,
is yeah,
probably would have been true.
exactly.
Thank you, Nancy.
Fantastic.
Nancy
Okay.
and I were on exactly the same page. So here's me divvying out the medicine thingy. This is the present day, and then this is the past, gathering the herbs with other people. And then this is some like headset in which all of the medicine goes into my head in the future. So not quite talking to Alexis and getting medicated for 100 years, but similar line of thought, I think.
That's amazing. I love your drawings there as well. They're really alive and yeah, beautiful.
Thank you. I had fun doing that. Thanks.
That's awesome, Kate. Thanks for sharing. Umi, will you come on camera? All right, let's go to Linda.
Okay. 200 years in the past. Oh, I would be weeding. This is my mundane activity, although it's also my daily activity and happiness too. So I would be wearing a bonnet and a ridiculously long skirt and horrible shoes made out of leather. And there I am pulling out this weed. And I say, "Come out, wretched weed." And some guy who's watching over me says, "Miss Linda, watch your language. If you don't watch your language, you're going to go down below those roots to horrible hell." And the weed is partly out, but the roots are still there. Fortunately, in the present, there I am by myself, and I say, "Look, a butterfly is going to that fabulous native plant," because I realize it's not a weed. "Let me get my camera," and I take a picture of the butterfly. And in the future, I'm afraid that all the ice sheets have melted. So there I am swimming along underneath, looking for sources of food. And I say, "Yay, kelp." The end.
That's so good.
Try to come
Linda.
up with a utopia, but it's just not in me today.
Yes, future dystopias are, they're there. So I love that. And I like that you're going and getting the kelp.
I'd share it with
food.
y'all.
Sensible food. Thank you so much, Linda.
Thanks, Linda. We're still waiting for Umi to come on camera. In the meantime, we'll jump to Sarah. Hi,
Hello.
Sarah.
Short and sweet. Let's see, I might need to get up. Okay, I don't need to get up. We're good.
Oh,
Me walking to work,
Oh,
walking to work in 2024 with my lunchbox and my backpack and my hat. And then in 1824 with my lunchbox and my backpack and my hat. And then in 2224. I guess I don't have a hat in the future. Because I'm indoors, I don't need sun protection. But yeah, my lunchbox floats now. I'm a robot. Yeah.
That's so beautiful, Sarah. I love the hats and then the no hat. And somehow the planet out the window sort of is reminiscent of a hat somehow.
I guess so. I didn't think of that.
And I love the floating lunchbox.
Yeah. Future
That's
solution.
innovative, very innovative.
that was awesome, Sarah. Thanks so much for sharing. We're gonna jump over Umi again and go to Sarah, then Allison.
Hey. Mine's the panels too. Mine was avoiding laundry through the ages. So my first one is what did I say? This petticoat has life left in it. And then the middle one is this outfit can last another day, and I'm just looking at my phone. And then the third one I say, "See ya, suckers," and I've got my little flying doodad.
That's so good. I love that. I love it so much. And what pens did you use for that? Oh, you're on mute, Sarah.
You're muted, Sarah. All right, we'll find out later.
Maybe you could type in the chat which what pens you use, Sarah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, Umi's finally on camera. Hi, Umi.
Sorry, like somehow I missed it. Do you see me?
We see you.
Hi. So, like I listed some of my mundane to do things list, and some of them are like scratching my skin, charge my phone, divide plastic wraps, deciding not to go outside, fixing my current sitting position because I have broken sacrum. So and then you suggested that I should pick something the boring. So I said, okay. So in 2024, I developed the sunlight allergy and itching my skin with my hands. This is very manual scratching.
Oh,
And I thought, like, okay, so 200 years ago, I was scratching myself against trees and rocks. And I thought, like, and I had like Stegosaurus behind, and I thought, like, oh, this is more like 2 million years ago, right? So I thought, like, I gotta go to the future, but somehow I thought, like, okay, 200 years, well, 2024 minus 200 years, so that's now it's in 1824. I was scratching myself against a mule spinner, and I was also able to print that my itchy situation to the mass. So yeah, so I failed to go to 2224. I'm pretty bad with math. Thank you.
I love that. I'm curious because you mentioned manual scratching. I wonder in the future
But
would
this.
oh yeah, but in the
Manual
future
scratch.
would you have a special machine that would do the scratching for you, or would you still want to scratch yourself?
I think, what somebody mentioned about the AI, and I think people love the process of making it rather than product. So I think I would love the itchiness and probably find the best solution. So I would be somehow analog and manually scratching.
Manually scratching in the future. Thank
Yeah,
you so much. That was
go
beautiful.
for it.
I love the
Bye.
scratch on the rocks.
Yes, yes, I do too.
I
Bye.
love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks so much. And we have Allison and Elias.
Hi. Alrighty, I'll get right to it. So out of my 20 mundane activities, I picked making coffee. And so I have, or just enjoying coffee, I suppose it would be. And I titled my comic The Once and Future Coffee. So first panel is the present day, and it's just me, usually in the morning in the kitchen. We've got the electric tea kettle in the back. Over there, we have a little cutting board with my drip coffee filter, and then me just holding my cup of coffee. And of course, since it's the morning, my eyes are closed. Then we have the past version of making and enjoying coffee, which is to say not being able to enjoy it at all. Because when I was Googling things online for reference, I saw a lot of visuals of how like coffee was a pretty laborious process, and something that you would have at, say, like a saloon or canteen. So I tried to draw a version of myself working in that capacity and rushing out to get coffee to patrons, and old-fashioned stove, pot that was probably used to roast the beans, old-fashioned water coffee container, and actual coffee bean bag over here. And then finally, future coffee. I went Star Trek with this one. Spaceship, some sort of elaborate device that makes the perfect cup of coffee. And then there's me again. But I'm in the future. If you didn't notice the background, you'd know I'm in the future because of the asymmetrical haircut. And that's it. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
That's
Awesome.
great, Alison. I love that. I love that. Like I feel like you've done a great thing here, which is like coffee is easy now, but in the past, to get coffee was such a big, hard, long thing, and I think that really demonstrates that really well. Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks, Alison.
very much.
We have Elias next, then Nancy and Tara.
Adjust the lighting to make this visible. Clipping nails in 2024 with a nail clipper. clipping nails in 1824 with the scissors because when I searched it, the first thing that came up said nail clippers weren't invented until 1875, and I didn't fact check that. In 2224, using the tried and true method that, of course, you also could use in 2024 or 1824. Thanks.
That's great.
Thank you. Next up, we have Nancy.
Okay. Okay, mine was weed whacking. So in the middle is weed whacking now. And then on top is weed whacking 200 years in the past with your sheep. And I was like, bo peep. And on the bottom one, in the future, 200 years, I am driving a hovercraft lawn laser cutter.
That's fantastic, Nancy. I love your cool weed whacker glasses in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. We have Tara next.
Oh gosh, it's so alarming to see your face all big. I also had nails. Sorry. So I always bite my nails, but actually I was looking at them and I'm like, maybe I'm not less stressed than normal because they're bigger than they've ever been. I was like, what were my nails doing 200 years ago? I just made something up. They're in a whale. And in 200 years, because I bite them so much, they'll be everywhere. And I hope there are still whales.
That's so beautifully existential. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah. It's like,
That looks great.
Amazing.
Thanks so
thank
much.
you. That was fun.
Thanks,
We
Tara.
have Sarah next, and then Rebecca, and then Nettie, and then Kristen.
Hi, everyone. Hello. So the activity I chose, let's see if I can, is vacuuming with my handheld vacuum today. So I'm currently in where Sarah is in Melbourne in Australia. I'm wearing a wool jumper. I've got thick cotton sweatpants. I've got a plant that's always kind of shedding dry leaves, hairs. I'm wearing Ugg boots, and I've got an indoor cat that's sleeping. And yeah, I'm always like vacuuming fur, tracked litter, and bits of dry leaves. And I didn't quite have a sense of what 200 years would be like. So I did a bit of research. So I'm Malaysian, and 200 years ago, British control was established in Malaysia. And I think I would not have been overseas. I would have still been in Malaysia. I would be wearing like thin cotton tops and sarungs that cover my skin from the sun because it's very hot, tropical country. I'd still be living within a village, you know, probably still with family. I wouldn't have like a pet cat. I'd have like a stray cat that would come and show up at the house sometimes. And yeah, I wouldn't have a handheld vac. I would have, it's called a lidi sweeper. Penyapu means broom. And I think lidi is just like, it's a bunch of very thin sticks tied together. And I would, I don't know, be sweeping the compound of my house maybe. And then in the future, I think I'd just be too busy teleporting back and forth between cold climes and hot climes. And maybe all the stray hairs and dust with me. I didn't think super far, but yeah, I'd like to think that's what I'd be doing.
That's so
I've got to
beautiful.
say that research is pretty impressive. I'm impressed.
Just Wikipedia. I was like, what happened 200 years ago? Wow. And exactly 1824 as well. That was when, yeah, colonial rule was established.
Wow, that's really interesting. I like that it's actually like factually neat and fits. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that as well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks so much. We have Rebecca next, then Nettie, then Kristen.
Hello. So this is about feeding my chickens. So in the first panel, that's my hand, that's my chicken Moira. And I'm saying to her, here you go, my beauty. And then she starts to think about how much she hates these pellets. And she says, these pellets are disgusting. My great-great-great-great-great-grandmother would have never eaten this swill. Her keeper made a delicious hot mash fresh every day. And I imagine that to go both me, that would be my ancestor, and then Moira's ancestor, we both wear kerchiefs. For some reason, I felt that was important. Maybe we don't, maybe in those days, this is Moira speaking, we didn't lay every day, but the eggs we laid were protein rich and delicious with orange yolks. And then she's back in the present and she says, but maybe I shouldn't be so critical. In the future, no doubt, we will just be hooked up to have little tubes direct to our stomachs with periodic doses of nutritional solution. Our eggs will be gigantic but tasteless, but humans will have lost their sense of taste by then, so it won't matter.
Oh, oh, that's so good. It's so good. And I'm going, oh no, those poor chickens and those poor humans. Thank you, Rebecca. It was great.
Thanks so much. Nettie, will you come on camera? There you are.
Hello. So I don't draw. I'm really not an artist. And I also am very slow, I guess, to draw. So I didn't make it to the future, but I made it to the present and the past. Mine was just like filling up my water bottle. See if where am I? Oh, there I am. So that's like the first one. Panel says it's pretty easy to fill up a water bottle, and then I put a little thing, and I wrote, so that's like pretty privileged. So privileged. And I said it's harder to hold on to them, and that's like kind of like a graveyard water bottle, water bottle graveyard rather. And then let's see, there's a bucket, and it says in the past I might have just been filling up a bucket, and then that's me in the past, and it says I bet I still would have managed to lose it anyway, and then it's for fucketh saketh. And then I didn't get to the future, but that's gonna be bleak, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's so great, Nettie.
Neither did I, Nettie. I'm also very slow, so you're not alone. I have Christian next. Can you come on camera?
Hey.
Hey, Christian.
Hey, hold up. Light. Always. Okay. So this is what I do Monday. Use my phone. My prime, as they say, phone. Look at this phone. Turn to alien. Alien. Then alien turned the phone into something of a UFO. I just made the concept of if we keep using our phone, we become more alien to each other and our emotions. We don't feel free. Do you think our phone make us more alien than each other?
That's great. And I love that in your fourth panel there, the alien self doesn't have a mouth, which to your point of like we can't communicate with each other. That's really interesting.
Alien is UFO. UFO is phone.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Kristen. Appreciate it. Next
Thanks,
up, we have Mel. Hello.
Okay, hello. For mine, I chose the activity of making toast, and it's a really small sketchbook, so It's a little bit cramped. I don't know if there's enough light to see, but anyway, in the first one, first two panels are in the past. I'm wearing a bonnet and apron and trying to toast bread on a wood stove. And someone says, "Is it ready yet?" And like, "Oh no, it's burnt already. We're going to have to bake a whole new loaf of bread." I just scrape it off. And I actually made two futures and no present because I thought it could be post-apocalyptic or perhaps utopian. So in the first one, or the first future, it's just a close-up of a lighter trying to warm up a piece of bread. And a voice is saying, before the great collapse, we could do that with electricity. Shut up, Pops. And then my utopian future kind of got dystopian, and I don't remember what I wrote. Alexa has anticipated your desire for a toast. That's me with a very straight bang cut, and there's I guess a safety special machine here to make the toast. Alexa has anticipated your desire for toast. Select your jam. And then in the next final box, there's thought bubbles saying, "Do I even like toast? Is that what our AI overlords want us to believe? Why doesn't it taste like anything?" And I filled a little eye, the all-seeing eye of the far future. And it's just colored with coloring pencils.
I'm interested in the tasteless food of the future that's come up twice now. Oh dear. Oh. Thanks, Mel. That was great.
Thanks.
Toast control.
Next we have Edie and then Edgar.
Hi everyone. I've actually just stayed. I liked my future idea that I'd turn it into a little 8-panel quick comic. So I've taken the concept of walking the dog, but here we've got 2024. And here's the dog. I can't read. "I am your new dog. On account of the unusual processing time in assigning your replacement, who is me, I am very concerned about your missed activity. But I won't shame you. Our reports show that shame reduces our people's participation in activity." And here's everyone with their kind of megalithic dogs of the future who are walking their people. That's
amazing. That's amazing.
Thanks for the share.
Thanks for sharing, Edie. And we have Edgar to take us out.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you, Sarah, for the inspiration. And this is what I've done today, and it's heavy on words and it's unfinished. It'll be colored in, but it's the Russell family through history performing the mundane activity of telling time. And we start with me, Edgar Farr Russell III, gazing at the college graduation present from his parents in 1976, the beautiful Omega constellation chronometer model with the dark blue face with tiny flecks of gold and the radium painted hands, which still glow in the dark 50 years later and needs a new battery to bring it back to life. Going back in time to 1949, when Cadet Midshipman Edgar Farr Russell Jr., U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, graduated as first in his class, is presented an award of a 14-karat gold Hamilton wristwatch presented by Marine Underwriters June 15, 1949, which he wore proudly every day of his life. When my dad was dying, I asked him if he wanted to be buried wearing it. He said, "No, you keep it and bury me in the second best naval uniform." "Okay, Dad. The radium dial still glows in the dark. I need to get it cleaned and wound." My grandfather, First Lieutenant Edgar Farr Russell Sr., loved watches, wore a pocket watch in his vest every day to work as a teacher at Central High School in Washington, D.C. He and his wife, Ida, gave their only son, Edgar Jr., an Ingersoll Mickey Mouse watch in 1933 when my father was 6. My father wanted to know what made his pocket watch tick, So we took it completely apart. It remained in a box, and we found it when we cleaned out my grandfather's house. And then we'll finish with my grandmother's brother, First Lieutenant Hillary Reed Frazier, who wore his watch in World War I. And it was sent back with his other valuables after he was killed in November 1918. So anyway, this is kind of a poignant one for me, but thank you for allowing me to tell the story and to record it.
Wow, thank you, Edgar. And using the watch as the kind of center focus of this moving through time is such a creative interpretation of the exercise. Like, I love that. It's really great.
Oh, thank you. And I happen to have them both here.
Yes.
This is mine,
Wow,
and
there
this
they
is my father's. So
That's
you
great.
can see it is a beautiful gold flecked little blue face.
Oh,
But
wow.
and that's what it says on the back of my dad's watch. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's great.
Thanks for sharing, Edgar. And
You bet, Tom.
Anna snuck in.
Hi. Okay, so I'm much newer to illustrating, so this is, beginner style. But I also did the taking medication. So today I just have my nightstand with my purple lamp and my pill box. And then I have 200 years ago. It's by candlelight, and there's a hysterics potion and a pain tincture. And then for the future, I have the pharmaceutical industry has fully crashed, and we're in the graveyard of capitalism.
Wow, that's amazing, Anna. That's great. That's so great.
I'm rooting for Big Pharma to crash. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Where's Sarah? Sarah, can you like wave your hand so I can put you back on camera? There you are.
That was so great. Thank you so much, everyone, for your sharing your comics. That was like the amazing. I'm so impressed and like so creative and like, yay, that was so exciting. I was wondering, so there's two things I'd like to do. One is just ask if there's any questions. And then secondly, I would love to take a screenshot of everyone together, just turning their cameras on and showing their comics. Obviously, if you don't want to, you can just not do that. But maybe, Michael, we could do that first. If you unpin my screen, and then if people could turn on their cameras and hold up their comic, and I'll take a screenshot of that. It's just really great to see everybody's work. I'll just give a couple more moments for people to look at these. And I love that there's a cat. Hi, Umi's cat waving. Oh, that's so nice. I actually had my cat here sitting on my table, but he's gone. So and now we'll go to the next page. Whoops. Thank you, everyone. Oh, just one more here. Thank you.
And I did paste into chat where to get Sarah's book and also how to participate in the Seesaw PDF.
Yes.
And this is usually when everybody now has the power to unmute themselves to thank Sarah for an amazing workshop.
Oh, also, if people need to go, we've got a few minutes left. If people need to go, that's fine. Thank you so much for coming. And yeah, any questions or comments, chime on in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Friday. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
That
was a lot of fun. Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Great.
I didn't see any
Great.
questions, but lots of
Oh.
gratitude. Thank you so much, Sarah. This was awesome. And Umi's cat. Clap.
Yeah, yay, Umi's cat. Woo, woo.
Hi, Miss Cat.
This was
I like
awesome.
that
A lot of
cat
fun.
is
I have
so
a question.
Thank you.
What inspired, did something specific inspire? You mentioned Linda Barry before. Did something specific inspire the 3 timeline idea?
Yeah, so I think that I first came across that exercise from Eloise Grills, who's a comic artist here in Australia. And she used that exercise in one of her courses. And I thought it's such a great exercise for, and I'm not sure where she got it from, but it's such a great exercise for kind of stretching your thinking about what you consider boring, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think it's a really fun way of, stretching your brain.
This was a lot of fun. I got really hung up though on the past because mine was hiding my dog's pills in pieces of chicken. So then when I went back 200 years, I decided I was in pocket theory. And like the other person, I can't remember her name, who did all this research, I had to, I didn't know what an apothecary wore and everything. So I got really hung up, but it was a lot of fun.
Mm.
Well,
Oh, we
thank
have
you.
a couple of hand raises.
Oh, did Marlena have a question? Or did Marlene want to share something?
I'm just if there's time, I know it's a bit late, but I did have something to share. If that's possible.
Please,
We have 4 minutes left.
4 minutes. Oh, that's too much. Well, anyway, can you see my drawing?
Yes.
Well, my mundane activity that I focused on is breaking news.
Ah.
In the past, when it was long before BC, 1,000 or so years ago, and these two Red Indians are walking, an older man and a young boy, and he says to him, "Well, see these arrows? They are meant to shoot to people and let them know to be happy for the day." So that's what that means. The arrows are going to be shot out. And once it lands, people can have a look at it and feel happy for the day. The one below that, sorry about that. This one, it's more about rock art and what it meant in the past. Moving forward was running, the act of running actually to a destination. And I threw in a little bit of Aboriginal art there with the billabong and movements in a direction towards the community. And I think, Sarah, you said, are you from Australia?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I'm from Sydney.
Ah.
Yeah. And so, I put in a little bit of that. Then the next one is well into the future, 4,000 after AD, which means 2,000 years into the future. I drew something about, just have a look. Yeah, the emerging trends of the future, looking at what technology can bring to the table in the future. I think I'm frozen now. So, it's more a question of using the brain, human brain, and what it can scientifically create into the future. Who knows what that would be? And this is why I put in an abstract form. The one below that is about AI, and there is a robotic illustration in the second panel on top, which is related to the AI and the thinking ability of human beings of what could be possible into the future. So again, I left it open to imagination. Then finally, getting back to current times, 2024, just trying to get the image for you to see. Can you see anything?
You keep freezing a little bit, but I think it's coming.
I'm trying to get it in view. Can you see that? Anyway, it's someone standing on someone standing on a podium at a lectern, trying to do public speaking and being very nervous indeed, says to himself, well, maybe I will collapse, and I don't even have my tablet to refer to my notes. So he's in a state of panic. And then finally, the TikTok technology of the current time is very much influential with the young ones and social media. And there are many ways of keeping contact with them and what's current and breaking news. So this is my impression of the past, the future, and the present. It took me a little while to put it together. And so thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Marlene. I'm glad you were able to share.
Thank you.
So, Michael, I think we're right on time now. So we'll need to wrap it
We are,
up.
but if you have one more minute, I'd love to see what you drew.
Oh yeah, sure. Do you know how to
Oh, I can
this one?
do this one.
video?
Yeah. Oh wow. That's beautiful.
So I haven't finished coloring it in. But it says, Vita Wheat, my trusty, salty, dry biscuit friend. We meet each other as a snack. I wonder, would our love last through the ages? 200 years ago, you would have no doubt been a wheaty princess, and I, your pining royal cobbler. And no doubt, if we were united as twin flames 200 years in the future, you would be an AI-powered supreme being, and I, your trusty steed. Sure. Nom. I love you, Vita Wheat. I was going for some like dystopian Terminator vibes, which is what the leather jacket and the leather boots.
Really wonderful. That's super great.
And this is going to be kind of sort of dry hellscape. And I'm like powered by drugs, so I'm happy but living in a desolate world. So yes.
Perfect.
A little bit unhinged, but it's fun.
And it all started because you were eating your bland biscuit.
Exactly. See, inspiration is everywhere.
So true.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Great to meet you, and thank you for sharing. And I hope you have a lovely weekend.
Thanks for starting.
Thanks, Sarah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.